Hello, the Sonic City Council is now in session. Thank you once again for inviting us into your headphone. You're doing it again. Hello, the Sonic City Council is now in session. Thank you once again for inviting us into your headphones, your car, your home, your mind, wherever you are listening or experiencing this podcast. We appreciate you very much, Davey Sipes.
Jesse, welcome back.
Yes.
Welcome back to the studio.
Reunited, and it feels so good.
See, that's how that shit's supposed to go.
Is it? I felt like I kind of hit it, like I kind of flamed.
I mean, no, you typically hit it badly. So that's the way it's supposed to go.
This is on brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so far from you, and you're the whacker.
I am.
Yeah.
Master
whacker.
Yeah,
Master whacker.
Yes. It is good to see you, sir.
You too.
I just got in from Nashville, and boy are my arms tired. To bring up
Father's Day, so that's appropriate.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had to bring up one hack comedy reference in there somewhere. And it was good. It was interesting doing a podcast remotely. Away. I know we were doing that for a minute, but it was kind of like, oh, this is really remote for me. So
yeah, different time zone remote. You were like a guest almost on your own
podcast. I know. I was gonna say I felt a little guest-like, but it was good.
And great fucking questions.
Yes, great questions.
To quote our buddy Alex.
Yes, even from a distance.
Yeah.
So it's good to be here in the studio, back doing the thing with guests and whatnot and such. So today I have asked a good friend of mine from the Los Angeles area, the big city. The greater Los Angeles area, just over the hill in the big city. His name is Cody Stewart, and he's got a project called Scarzdale. And it's sort of a mix of, a bunch of different styles and sensibilities. It's like, it's very songwriter, but like sort of a poppy rock vibe in there as well. And he's a good friend of mine from work and stagehand gigs and, the tech side of things. And but he's also a creative cat. So wanted to bring him in here and talk about, I don't know what we're going to talk about today. It could be about his process. I haven't seen him in a while. We might just be talking about random music life stuff. I don't know.
We probably won't talk about music. We'll probably talk about regional fast food for an hour.
You think so?
I mean, that's the random shit that popped in my head for no reason. No foreshadowing.
I don't know. I feel like we should take a bet on this or something.
All right. What do you want to bet?
I don't know. What do you got? Improv. You never say no.
I never say no. I bet you the next. So whoever wins, the other person has to book the next 3 guests.
Oh, okay.
That's a lot of lifting.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Wasn't rigged at all. Okay.
So why did you shake my head?
You never say no in an improv, sir.
Wow, he's militaristic about his yes and. I like that.
Yeah, I dove on that grenade.
So I have this baby I need you to cut in half.
About that.
And you're King Solomon.
Another theater reference. I'm excited to get Cody in here and talk to him about creative stuff. And he's also bringing his guitar with him, so he'll be performing a song in the studio. Second musical guest that we've had.
How's that?
We've had Omar Ruiz a few weeks ago, and now we're having Cody in here. So he'll be performing live on the couch where you're sitting. How about that?
Whoa! I will be displaced for something more interesting. Whoa!
Yes, I was going to say, you've been bumped, sir.
We were looking forward to that.
Yes, well, without further ado, let's get into it.
Bloom.
Are you searching for me now, or is it just a guessing game? It's funny how I think of you, yet no one knows your name. Tell me though. Where'd you go?
What? All right.
The first scene, it opens with smoke.
Yes, exactly.
Somehow this is smoother over Zoom.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Yeah, well, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But, anyway.
Deflect.
Yes. So, Cody, thank you so much for joining us today.
How'd you get here?
Yeah.
You guys.
Hello.
Yeah. How did you get here?
How did you get here?
Via Kia.
All right.
Kia.
All right. I was going to say, I kind of forgot what you were driving for a minute, and I saw the black Kia pulling up, and I was like,
Yep.
it's Cody Mobile.
All
for
decked
sure.
out in black. The guitar is even all black.
Yeah.
It's I got a theme going.
Yeah, you got a slight Esteban vibe going on. I dig
Nothing's
it.
changed from high school. Are you kidding me? That's all I was in high school. I was drawing on myself as well.
Yeah.
Black ink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I terrified people.
Yeah. No, hey, I was going to say, I think we could both relate to that. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's,
Oh my God.
Yeah, in our own way. Yeah. I didn't so much terrify the people though, as more of like, hey, and then they're just kind of like, anyway, and it's just like, and then I found my little group of like long-haired metal kids. That,
What
like,
was it that you think uniquely about you terrified the general populace?
I don't know. I think it's just more of like being an only child. I think is probably a good start, and then just like realizing.
Oh, they thought you
yeah.
were cursed because you had no siblings.
Yeah, just getting to the whole socializing properly thing a little bit
tough.
late.
It's
yeah,
tough, yeah.
you know.
When did you hit your growth spurt? I'm actually curious. I've been curious about that for ages.
When are they going to stop?
For ages.
Yeah. No, since I met you.
I think yes. I think probably middle school, like right about. I started middle school in like 2003, so that would have been about a couple of years after that, like 4 or 5, and then right when I hit like freshman year of high school, I think was like when it was peaking. So I was like about how tall I am now in like I think junior year.
Oh, nobody messed with you then. Yeah.
Well, but
You're
also
6'2", right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
you
was,
look
I was
like a
gonna say
famine
like
victim too, though,
junior
I'm sure.
senior year. I think I finally like hit my like height.
Fully blossomed.
Yeah, fully blossomed. Yeah, thank you.
Did you have the long? Because I didn't know you in high
petals
school.
open.
Did you have long hair in high school?
Oh yeah, no, I had now I do something where I actually get a haircut and trim it up instead of just letting it grow like a savage and you don't cut it at all. So I literally had hair. It was like if I tipped my head back, it was like down past my like tailbone. And
Wowie.
yeah,
You're a
and
Viking. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
and then in college I just basically shaved it off one day without warning, just because it was getting ratty. And then I
I
went
bet
through
that
it.
terrified people. Just like,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
You
no.
can't just show up with that. You got to announce it or something.
No,
Put
I
on
was
a bomber jacket and just kept scowling at everyone.
I was
They called the bomb squad.
Yeah, I was going
To
through.
ABC.
Yeah, exactly. I was going through a weird thing at the time, and I just was like, yeah, I'm done with this, and then went to go get it cut. And also,
Was it hot? When you
no,
did
it was kind of getting ratty, and then also like I felt like and to that point where it's like, it was just it was getting a little grungy, and then. A buddy of mine was in town who had moved away that I'd known forever, and he was like, when are you going to fucking cut it? Because he was like in the military and all, He still is, but he was all doing the macho thing, like, when are you going to cut your fucking hair? And I was like, I'll fucking do it right now, because I was kind of thinking about it anyway. Yeah. And then, I went down like number 4 clippers and then just
Holy cow, man.
down to nothing.
Yeah.
And didn't announce it. Yeah. But, those days are over.
You had a full metal jacket on that thing.
Yeah,
Holy crap,
I
dude.
did. It was that scene at the beginning when
Yeah,
they're all,
I bet that-
yeah.
Is it hard to watch that scene?
Oh yeah, no, it is.
He
It
cries every
definitely is.
time.
That
We watch it once a week.
that or the Last Samurai when they kick the guy down and they grab his hair and he's like and they're like sawing it off and then they just throw it
Isn't
on the
that a
ground.
scene from MacGruber as well?
Yeah.
And that's the part where they made him cry at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer, he just
Is this where
takes
we're going?
Yeah.
Is this where we're at?
Well, I don't know.
That's a good movie.
That's an awkward movie to watch.
Gotta have it with a buddy.
Anytime?
Well, no, I watched that because we were having a big family get together at my house, and I watched
You
it with
can't
my.
watch that with family.
It was like Christmas at our house, and it was after
Oh my
dinner,
God.
and everybody was hanging out, and it was my dad, my uncle, and my grandma like walked in the room like, "What are you guys watching at the very beginning?" And I watched the whole thing with that group of people.
It's
and,
a dude movie for sure.
Oh yeah, it was
because
that scene with the celery stalk was a little bit awkward.
you can't have grandma in the room for that.
Well,
No.
she was,
No.
and
Oh, no.
yeah.
Oh, which one? There's 2 of them.
Yeah, I was gonna
Beginning
say, that was a little bit difficult. It was a
I want to know how much
difficult.
they paid Ryan Philippe, whatever his name is, to do that. Because I want to say he actually did it. You know, because what's his name? Was it Will? The guy who the main actor?
Oh, Forte. Yeah, he's MacGruber.
I want to say he actually did it because he was on Bill Burr's podcast. That's a huge fan of Bill Burr, by the way.
Oh yeah, same.
He interviewed him and he's like,
I'm gonna go get high. I'll be back in 2 hours.
Shove a celery stick up. He's like, yeah, and you know what's fucked up is my mom actually showed up for those 2 days on set, and she had to witness that, and I was laughing my ass off.
Oh God.
But your hair, back to your hair though, like that's in Texas though, you have long hair, you are a whole other kind of brave.
Is it still that way?
That was a fearless.
Because like, okay, so
Good Lord.
I stopped one time. I had stopped in a tiny little town. I don't even remember what the name of it was. We were just getting gas, and there was a girl behind the counter that had purple hair, and I was like, wow, small Texas town. I'm surprised. But then. As we were leaving, there was an old man that pulled up to get gas next to us, and he was just scowling at everybody in the band, like in the van. It was like, old man look of horror, and I'm like, so which is it? Is the purple hair cool? Is this not cool anymore? Like
they were probably related.
Jokes on you.
They were probably related.
Yeah, that was probably his granddaughter or something. And she was like, I don't understand this.
Well, joke's on you. He had Parkinson's, so his face was like that no matter what.
Now I'm the asshole?
Slam.
Yeah.
You were the one telling the story, dog.
What the hell's wrong with this old guy? Well, funny you should mention it.
That's why I never assume old people are scowling at me.
It's like, that's old man Bill. We have a fundraiser every year.
Exactly. Old man Bill.
Cowboy Bill. Yeah.
Cowboy
Bill.
Like
I'm glad you brought up the Texas thing because I wanted to get into that because you are originally from Webster, Texas.
Yes.
Correct?
That is a small town right next to NASA Johnson Space Center.
Yeah.
Where I grew up, it was, all the kids in my area, they had either parents or relatives that worked for NASA.
Okay.
NASA was huge over there. You know, when they say Houston, we have a problem, that's right in that little area right there.
Yeah.
And I had a problem there when I was about 16 or so, but we're fine. We're good.
Okay. Okay.
But it was enough for me to get out.
Like a Badlands scenario, or what are we talking about here?
Oh man, don't get on the subject of Badlands. You won't get. That's my other MacGruber. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll talk to you constantly about that. I already want to talk to you about Zelda. Yeah. Zelda's a favorite game, but
nice.
Yeah, I moved into downtown Houston when I was about 17.
Okay.
And, started touring when I was 20 with being a guitar technician and all that. And so the road experience was there. So if I ever have to play shows on I already know what it's going to take. You've traveled probably via bus, van.
I was going to say, getting to the bus, almost there. But like doing van stuff and a lot of flight aids coming up this year.
Yeah, the van, you're sleeping in hotels. And then sometimes you got to drive it as well sometimes. And I did a van tour for... a year almost. We did fall and summer.
Wow.
And it was 2.5 months of just being in the van and just holy cow,
How many people?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in a 12. I think it was like 12
car
passenger
scenario.
van. Yeah, it was funny. The leader of the band slept in the passenger seat the entire tour. He didn't even go to the back once. He did for when before showtime. He would be in the back of the van just playing a guitar. But hotel tours, and then on the bus you really don't need a hotel. Just we got to the last 2 years I toured was on a bus, but fun. That was wow.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. So you're basically in just a mobile home going crazy.
Submarine.
Yeah, we got pulled over in Texas on the last tour though. It was kind of funny, but luckily we had a ex-Marine cop on board.
Oh, that's good.
Nobody fucked with that guy. He was tall. He was much taller than you, sir. And he looked like Mr. Clean. That's what we called him, was Mr. Clean.
Nice.
But he had been shocked by lightning about 5 years prior to him being on tour with us.
Wow.
And he talked about it, and I was like, I don't believe him. But one night, me and him we were in, I want to say, somewhere in the middle of Arkansas, some weird casino place or something, but they bought everybody in the band their own room, but somehow he ended up drunk in my room. And so we got to drinking, and he's like, hey, check this out. And he touched the lamp, and that thing started fucking flickering. Scared the shit out of me.
What? So I guess you get hit by lightning, you're like permanently charged for life?
Yes, he has electricity.
Yeah, you carry
going
latent charge,
his
dude, for
system.
sure. If it doesn't kill you.
Wow.
Yeah, his name was Thor on that. Thor got everybody paid.
Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah. because he would go up to the production man or the venue owner.
Jesus Christ.
You're good. Oh, trust me.
This
I can't
stories
stop
drive me
staring at this.
crazy. I mean, like, I studied this mythology, so it's far out that you know Thor, bro.
Well, that's the scary part. Is like he has electricity. He's almost 7 feet tall. He's
Get fucking with
he
that
is.
hammer
He could have been a
throw.
superhero. I would have never. But
Yeah. Well, and especially like that's the guy you want to go send to get paid every night.
Yeah, nobody messed with that guy.
Yeah.
So he prevented a few
He talks to the
state
owners.
troopers from walking onto the bus because, that was. I'm not going to say anything that was on the bus, but let's just say,
sure.
Glad nobody walked on. But
Yeah.
they've busted a lot of people over there. The Las Cruces going into El Paso.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right there. There's I'm sorry, but a checkpoint.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything.
You can just
wrong.
talk to them like
Yeah.
they're not even here. Fuck you, citizens.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
There you go. Settle
No,
in.
That's
We're gonna talk about apparently politics,
well,
okay?
but that's just getting to know or either meeting some bands or like hearing stories from them or working with people. If they've been around from like back in the day, you'll hear stories about bands going through Texas back in like the 70s and 80s, and it sounds like a crazy Wild West thing of like getting pulled over by cops and just getting harassed and like it's kind of got a long history of that anyway. So
Touring was scary. I mean, it's because you're going places every single day.
Yeah.
And you up the risk of I used to not even leave the house after I got home from touring. I would stay in the house and
Really?
just sit there, and eventually I'd take some gigs. But touring was rough because it was just especially when you're not on like an upscale tour, you end up getting some
life
shady,
is rough.
some shady rooms.
Yeah,
You don't know when you're gonna shower next, almost, and it got grueling towards the end because it was just like, I was at the venue, 10 a.m. The band would leave
yeah.
and go check into their hotel,
Yeah.
and I'd be stuck at the venue, babysitting basically.
Yeah. Was it just you, or like on a lot of them, or did you have like at
Yeah.
least somebody else with
But
you?
the last tour with the guy Thor, he was the personal. He made sure everybody was taken care of, and
Right.
he guy with the flashlight that leads guys
Yep.
onto the stage and all that. It was
Yep.
that. But I was just a gear babysitter basically, and I would stay at the venue, eat and pizza every night.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
real tired of that. The venue would just be like, "Hey guys, we got your pizza." I'll be
Yeah.
like, "Thank you, but."
Yeah, no, my my guitar tech buddy, Nate Dawson, who I want to have on the show. I don't know if you know him, but he's another LA guy, lives in Glendale.
No kidding.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say.
okay, G-Dale, what's up?
Well, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you might cross paths with him.
I'll meet him, I'm sure.
But we were working a gig together, and the catering was pizza, and they brought in it was from that Big Mama's pizza with the big square one that's like just a big pile of oil in the middle. It's like we have the
Paper towels,
Yeah.
just soaking it up. Yeah.
That place is.
yeah, and so they
Fond
bring
memories?
in
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. They bring
Unforgettable.
they bring in one of those we have the biggest square pizza in the world, and they bring in like two of them, and then he turns to me and
true.
goes, there's nothing musicians love more than when a big box of pizza shows up. We all gather around and we go, "Oh boy,
Yeah.
pizza's here!"
We
And I
praise
just
the
started
pizza
laughing
gods.
because it's that same thing. It's like you just go to places and what do musicians like to eat? I don't know, stale deli trays and pizza and Subway, and it's like
That's all
just,
we
Yeah,
that's
no,
just
my
what they
dream
feed
is
you.
finding a slice of cold pizza on the buffet table and some leftover cold cuts
Yeah.
and just making like a bastard ass sandwich out of that shit. That's like a happy night. That's a good gig.
My favorite is when it's like, oh, they've got a fruit tray, how nice, and then you see that the strawberries are moldy on the bottom. I'm like, oh, you just needed to get this out of your fucking fridge.
Yeah,
that happened
exactly.
one night. That was
Really?
awesome.
That
Yeah.
happened one night?
Yeah, and I was like, oh man, I'm getting a fruit tray. This is pretty
Like I'm getting
sweet.
strawberries and mushrooms. Hot diggity.
Yeah, and I'm like,
All
nope.
right.
Yeah,
Good for you.
yeah.
So I don't miss that side of the
Oh,
the
it sounds
music
like the
world.
life. All
Well,
right.
no, because there's just so many aspects of you gotta we promote. You go and do these radio shows. We did a lot of radio shows. And,
Can we say what bands these are? Or is
I'd
it classified?
I'd prefer not to. They don't need
That
any
is
more
your right.
publicity,
As a council
I was
member,
gonna
that
say
is
I
your right.
can verify.
counsel.
As
your attorney,
as your
counsel.
attorney. No, I was gonna say I'm privileged to be friends with Cody on the social media, as the kids would say, and
They all say
as
just
the
like
kids would
that.
say, the social media.
The
and,
social media.
Occasionally, you'll see flashbacks of him with bands and stuff popping up that you'll share, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's like that's a cool band to be touring
That's
with.
the only reason people know I used to have long hair as well. And,
Did you have
Whoa,
dreads?
big reveal, dark secrets.
I was gonna say, did you have dreads, or do I have that wrong?
I had dreads.
Did you have dreads, white boy?
To my waist.
White boy had them dreads. Lord of mercy. Citizens! Citizens! Write me in! Write in! Tell me what you think about this pick
You
me
want to
boy.
talk about some funny looks, though. You remember you got the girl with the purple hair and the guy that didn't understand. Trust me, I got a lot of that as well. I wasn't exactly, a small town in Texas especially, it's a government town if you think about it because, it's run by NASA and NASA's, run by everybody up there.
The mafia space.
Right.
The space mafia.
Space mafia.
Space mom, hashtag.
Them's fighting words.
Space Mom sounds like a great band name, honestly.
It does. It does.
Not bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would get jobbed. I had a couple weird.
You want to touch the water?
In Webster, and that was and like I said, Webster to Houston was a little more. It's it's a large city.
I've been to Houston.
Oh yeah.
You been to Houston?
No, I haven't been to Houston.
I've been to Houston.
Houston's you know
Houston's
what?
all right.
I knock it constantly, and I say I don't like going back there, but you get lost in that place. Holy shit!
Houston has an LA feel to me because of how big and spread out it is. It's crazy spread out. It's kind of a gnarl of freeways in the middle, just like LA is. And you can go all the way down to the coast, and it's still like cities and suburbs and shit. It's crazy.
It is funny though, but there is only one road really that goes down to the coast from Houston, and I used to live off of that. It was the Highway 45. But straight shot, Mardi Gras would go down over there, and New Orleans, Mardi Gras would go down there, and 6-hour drive from Houston to New Orleans.
It's not bad.
I'd do it sometimes. Worked for another band over there, and they had a space kind of like this, but I don't think it was as cool. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you.
This is, like I said, you got...
Probably smelled different.
Yeah, there was a drummer who partook in a lot of different smoking. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was,
We keep it clean in here. It smells like Febreze.
It kind of does. Yeah, dude. This is like the most clean smelling room I've ever been in, I think. The couch doesn't...
Well, you've heard it here first on this podcast.
I highly recommend this.
If anybody wants to be a guest on this show, it does not smell bad in here.
Yeah. You'll love your stay.
Yeah. But I do want to get into this, though, because I would imagine growing up in and I kind of relate to where you're coming from because I grew up here, and, LA is the big city.
Exactly.
And we're about 50 minutes, away, or, an hour, depending on where you're going, or a little more.
Half hour if you're crazy.
Half hour if you're crazy.
So it was halfway. Houston was 25 minutes north, and then Galveston was 30 minutes south.
Yeah, people probably
Clear
ask.
Lake City?
That's where I'm from.
Yeah, buddy. That's where my best friend from high school went to high school out here, and then he moved there because that's where his parents lived at.
Yeah, Clear Lake High School is right down the street from where I grew up.
So wow,
small world, huh?
So humid, man.
Yeah.
It's so
Don't
humid up
get me
there.
That's why I was talking about the hair. I was like, you got to be brave, and and I had dreadlocks in that city, and I was like, I was nuts. Like I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Right? You could just wring them out.
Oh no.
Just on the daily.
You had to clean them with alcohol. It was gross.
Wow. Well, what else can you do?
Isopropyl.
Well, you got to get in there.
Really?
You got to kill them bugs.
Well, not only that, but it was good for it because it would dry your hair out to the point where it would just be like, oh, it's perfect to twist and knot up.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I miss slapping.
Do you have
people with them,
curly hair like that?
Very.
Oh, okay.
Very nappy.
So
Yeah.
it came natural?
Oh, yeah.
Natural.
Natural, man.
Yeah.
I don't do a very good.
That's all right.
He fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
Put in the comments.
This is
Out of 5, how hard did he nail it? 6 out of 5.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the man, man.
Scale from 1 to man.
Yeah.
Hey! Shit.
Okay, so now I know what this is for.
Well, yeah, it's for official business.
when you-
whenever Davey
when I get hyped,
feeling
that's whammy
himself.
right
Well,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
big money. No women stop.
Working around the Houston area too. I worked at the venues there.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of music out there.
Yeah, well, that's
They have so much more of a scene than we do, I feel like.
Oh, yeah,
Like there's
well,
the professional scene of
yeah,
LA, but the
Maca-
working scene is
the
huge
Macombo is famous.
What'd you call it?
The El Macombo is
Oh,
like
yeah.
a famous venue down there. I don't know if that was around at that point, but like it's got a history of that. Especially like me being a Billy Gibbons ZZ Top fanatic, it's like wanting to know about wherever they played and all the spots and all that.
Nice.
Yeah, he's talked about a few different venues down there, and like being fans of other Texas players too, like Gary Clark Jr. Even though he's more like Austin, it's like being fans of these people, you get to know like that general area, and you kind of get a feel for like the venues and the club scene from people talking about it. And that's what I was curious about with you. You know, was there that real pressure to move to the big city, or like, or not even that? Like, did you feel like I have to like move to LA to like make it or whatever? Like, I'm curious about your perspective growing up outside of this environment.
Well, it was just more pissing people off, I think.
Okay.
The more people I pissed off, I'm like, oh, okay, they know where I live. I gotta go. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But no, there's always
Man,
there's
that's
always
my own
that
way of
guitar influence, like especially with those guys, Gary and Billy and
Yeah.
you know, some of the other even locally. There was people I would go see locally at these bars, and I would just be blown away by how good they were.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, no matter where I went, there you can always find the scene of, you know, if you're a rock and roller, you can just talk to people, locals.
Yeah.
They'll tell you where to go. They tell you the venues and whatnot. But the venues, I would say, working local crew was where it started, though, honestly, because I became a fan immediately of, you know, some of the local guys, and to see them, you know, climb up the ladder too. They were, you know, good stuff. You know, you would see these bands in like small bars, and then they would be playing the arenas in 2 years later, and it was awesome. But Texas though was like I said, the heavy guitar influence. Like there's a vibe to it down there.
Definitely.
You feel a lot. You know, Stevie Ray Vaughan was another one. You know, he was just an insane guitar player, and he loved the state of Texas. Gibbons still, you know, Gibbons lives out in the Hollywood Hills. He's still got a house over there in Texas, and I think all the guys do. But there's a town, San Leon, Texas, which is right near Bay Cliff, and there's Seabrook, and it's this little area next to the water. Not quite Galveston, but it's next to the water. But a lot of music out there. Southern boys and all that, you know.
Yeah,
it's redneck town. You know?
Yeah, well, it's so funny because it's like, you know, I felt like we never really talked about any of this, but I always felt you were like a kindred spirit whenever we would work together.
Totally. Well, no, I instantly, Jesse and I, you know,
But it's also like, dude, because out here it's the same way where like we don't have NASA, but like Aerospace is.
Actually, we do.
Well, we do. That's true, but. We have, you know, Northrop Grumman out here and Lockheed and Edwards Air Force Base and Plant 42. And it's like all this stuff that it's so much aerospace history in this valley as far as firsts and like developing planes and all of that. So that's, you know, the big government job entity that's out here.
War machine.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you get a job in aerospace out here, it's like, wow, you're doing really well, and you're doing something important, and like, there's the history and the pride of aerospace, and it's also you have to. And I don't want to speak for you, but I imagine living in Texas and not having much to do necessarily in Webster, you have to kind of make your own fun. And you can either get into trouble and throw yourself into kind of negative situations, or you could find some buddies and play in a garage and then hopefully not get in as much trouble.
Yeah, I think I confused my family quite a bit because, like you said, because it is that there is a whole military like it was military. Most of my family is military. And I got to give a shout out to my dad real quick. My father, Cody Stewart.
Hello, Cody, Dad.
My creator on this day of fathers.
Yes.
So,
we all have one way or the other, baby.
Yeah.
Study show.
Yeah. I was to say this is the Who Is Your Daddy and What Does He Do episode.
Yes.
Oh, hello.
The Arnold.
Another movie reference.
Shout out to Arnold, California. It all ties in.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Well done.
But no, my family was mostly military. My grandfather worked out at NASA, and he, military background. My grandmother as well. They were basically, the ones who raised me growing up, and my dad ended up getting a job at the local Air Force base, and his best friend, who also worked with them out of this place called Ellington Field. It's where the president lands every time the president comes into the city of Houston and all that. But Air Force base basically, and he still works out there. He works in life preserves, I believe it is, for the pilots.
Okay.
So he does the underwater training facility out there, that big, giant, massive, basically pool where they train underwater, all the astronauts and stuff.
Yeah.
He goes out there sometimes, but I think he learned really quickly. He's like, this kid might not end up in the military like most of the family. And But his one of his best friends who used to work at the building out there in Ellington near Clear Lake, His name's Corky. I met that guy when I was about, I don't know, 6 years old.
Yeah.
He lives out here in Palmdale.
Really?
I didn't think to hit him up, but yeah, he lives out here in Palmdale. He works at the base out here.
Oh, okay.
So that's when you brought up that, it automatically just hit me. I was like, wait, there is I don't know what kind of base it is, but I want to say my dad's been here too when
Edwards.
when he was doing training or some sort. But,
Oh yeah, no, it
is Edwards. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yeah,
shout out to
that's about another 45, 50 minutes that direction. So
That's
it's basically.
cool. So do you have like
Take
crazy?
Yeah.
So do you have like crazy planes that fly out here as well?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
All in the day and the night.
it was it was funny because like I just got back into town from Nashville and ended up sort of at a barbecue air show hangout with a bunch of like audio engineering people.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like I love stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but it was just like, so that we were hanging out, but we were in close enough proximity to this base where we sort of ended up watching this air show for free, and there was like the Thunderbirds doing tricks and stuff, and a bunch of planes going by. And I was telling a couple of the people like, "Oh wow, this is awesome," and I was like, "Yeah, it is awesome." And then I was like, this is basically this reminds me of just home because like. Growing up, when they were working on the B-2, and that was like, they were doing a lot of test flights with it, my house was right next to like the plant. And so literally you'd be talking, and it was like that scene in the Blues Brothers when the subway goes by and like they have to like stop talking for a second. It was like that, except for a few minutes of just this ominous war going over your house, and you had to basically just shut up for like a couple minutes.
That
and
sound could terrify fleas off a dog. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I would hear something like that. And
It's
just go,
the loudest, most ominous sound, and you don't know where it's coming from. You can't pinpoint it, and it's kind of the way the plane's designed, I think. It seems like anyway. And it's like, it's just like,
coming.
it goes over your house, and then just kind of like, all right, so anyway, and it's like a train going by or something.
I don't think I've ever seen one. The one I grew up near, they had the Guppy, is what they called it, and the Guppy it's just this giant, big, ugly faced airplane that you can fit a tank inside. It is huge.
Yeah.
But they were doing test runs with it when I was out in Texas a couple months back, and but I do make it home eventually, and go hang out there, and for the most part, the musicians, there's. I don't want to say there's not much of a scene, but there's no bands that I've seen that tour outside the state of Texas, which if you play your cards right, you don't really need to. It's just like if you want to do a West Coast tour or an East Coast, but I would say most of the guitar-based and rock and roll stuff is on the East Coast. It's heavy out there. They push it out there. I noticed more of a pop vibe out on the West Coast here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you get into the Virginia area, they got metal galore even, you know.
Yeah.
And I grew up listening to, I would say, 90s metal, 90s rock and roll.
Yeah.
List all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's a long list, but
Let's chip
Sure,
away
start
at
at
it.
the top.
Let's chip
Go
at
about
the
five
list.
deep.
Oh, man,
Go five
okay.
deep.
What's funny is, like you say, ZZ Top was one of them, but I knew
Yeah.
immediately when I heard the guitar, I knew that was what if I did play music, that's what I would gravitate towards first.
Yeah.
And then the singing came along with it. I started in the junior high choir.
Okay.
And that was, I don't blame anybody for not joining choir because some of the songs they make you sing are just freaking terrible.
Yeah.
But I did learn all the dynamics and all that and how to harmonize. That was the most important part to me musically, was learning how to sing. So the project that I've got right now, it's mostly focused on the guitar and the voice.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
And just so happens I do both, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, so.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask, about your musical background, just because I knew you were, kind of going for, at one point, like a harder, more industrial sound, and then I was hearing some of this stuff, and I was getting, like, sort of, like, Beck, a little bit of, like, Oasis-y, Wilco vibes kind of thing, so,
I got lost for a minute there because this is the other thing I learned really quickly, especially if you are going to have to perform your music eventually, is you got to make music that you can perform live.
Yeah.
I was making some of these songs
Helpful.
I was making in the beginning were songs that I don't know if even 6 people could pull off. I was wanting an 8-piece band right off the bat. And I started listening to this, and a friend of mine, Mr. Gary, hi Gary. Gary, he shot the first music video for me at just a random idea that we had out to shoot in Texas. But
Yeah.
Gary was the first person to kind of go, all right, you got the music, where's the band? I go, oh, crap, you're right. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to perform any of this with less than like 6 people. So
Right.
that was where the Scarzdale project started. It wasn't even music that I'm going to say this first, but it's like I'm not really a giant fan of some of the stuff I'm putting out, but it's kind of simple. You know, in my opinion, 4 people can pull it off.
Okay.
So I kind of had to do a stripped down pop guitar version of what I, first envisioned.
Okay.
Because immediately for me is to go straight for the kill is just straight up rock and roll. Because
Right.
I love rock and roll.
Yeah.
Rock and roll's, like it corrupted me at a young age. So.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say there's a whole couch of corrupted individuals. So
Yeah.
you're good.
I'm
company
immaculate and pure, but if you feel corrupted, I empathize. I do.
Pure, he says.
There. Yeah.
That look you just gave.
Yeah.
He's pure.
They know.
Don't worry.
Get a tight Eric Andre zoom in on his face.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
So the Scarsdale project, that's going to be, it's not something I want to end on, but it is something to start with. And I think,
Sure. Yeah.
the first song was, it was very, almost even cheesy.
Yeah.
Because you got to sell out a little bit every now and then, give people what they want. But eventually, I think that's why people start side projects, is like, this isn't me giving the people what they want. It's
Sure.
me doing what I want.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
There's a lot to dig into in
Yeah,
this.
well,
you go first. You go
okay,
first.
well-
There's like a lot of forensics to do on that.
Well,
on
I was
that
going to
point
say,
of view.
before we get too much into this, I want to ask,
Uh-huh.
how much of that was influenced by, moving out here and being in, because
Yeah.
I know your environment changes.
It
so,
was a big, it was a complete switch on what, because you envision one thing, but you have other people telling you what to envision almost
Right.
as an artist. It's almost scary because you're faced with, changing so much about not so much who you are, but what you can do. And that's when I started playing around with keyboards, started making hip hop beats even. And, that's the thing about being a musician, though. I think the more you learn, the more you can bring to the table, and the more people you can work with. I've wanted to work with an R&B, hip hop artist for quite some time, but right now I'm just focusing on what I know right now. But
sure.
one of the songs, I hate to say this, but yeah, I use the phrase constantly. But somewhere down the line, that's the new song.
Yeah.
That's probably where I want to end up.
Okay.
Is working, collaborating, and doing songs with other people, because
Yeah.
it's one thing to do your own project, but if you can do others as well, it's just you learn, and
Yeah.
I've learned so much just from being here in Los Angeles in general, but Nashville taught me a few things, New York taught me a few things, even Florida. There's a huge music scene in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But everywhere you go, you kind of learn to adapt to the scene. But yeah, eventually when the shows start coming back full force, it'll be time to go back out. And I might, unless I can get an opening slot on like a West Coast run or something, then I'm going to stick to the places I know. Like, Gary was telling me again yesterday, the day before, he goes out to these random venues, South Dakota, Oklahoma, just all these random places. You can go up there for 2 nights,
Yeah.
make bank,
Yeah.
go back home. And, my cousin has a band out in Oklahoma City as well. And he's like, yeah, man, we just do 2 shows, like a week at the most. And back in the day, we used to do 2 shows and, that would coast us for the next 2 months almost. It'd be like,
Yeah, depending on where you can get booked into. Yeah, definitely.
some of the venues out there, they mean business. But I just hope everybody survived the last year, because the venues were a lot of venues. Some of the venues out in Texas. What I was talking to a friend about the other day was the music scene in like the southern area. It didn't really die down too much because some of the venues didn't close like they should have.
Right.
But but people were still playing music, and I thought it was funny because the state of California was shut down, and all these musicians were out of work and out of shows, and I was like, just go to Texas. You can drive to Texas right now, play a venue with 150 people in it.
Yeah.
And, you'll get to play. So
I mean, if you want work, that's definitely the option,
Yeah.
if you want to make that choice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something to consider, at least.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, there's a whole music scene down there that just can't, it's a force to be reckoned with,
Yeah.
but it's,
They're immune, for Christ's sake. They are a
I
force
guess,
to be reckoned
dude.
with. Shit. I ain't gonna mess with those dudes.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you could survive that humidity, I mean, you could survive anything.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's swampy.
I honestly don't think COVID could survive
You
humidity
you haven't been.
Texas
What?
or
You haven't
Louisiana.
been. Like, I know it was humid in Nashville a little bit, right?
Yeah, it was pretty.
Now let me tell you about Houston.
Oh.
You can't sleep at night.
Houston humidity.
Bro, we went out there in the summertime. He didn't warn us about this.
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We went out there
Why?
because that's when I had time off, money. So I went out in August. It was so hot. We slept in his driveway with a fan in the garage blowing on us.
Not only that, but
It was
the
cool in
1
the
month.
driveway and in the house, man.
August is the 1 month you just don't go there. Like, honestly, you
Yeah.
can't.
I know now. Thank you for the tip, though.
Yeah.
Right now, I look because I do this
Gnarly.
thing where I still keep in the tabs on the temperature.
Yeah.
I'm weird about that. I'm weird about weather as well.
Oh,
That-
let's talk about our weather fetishes.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Oh, that is. Hey, I'll talk your ear off.
You
on
go
that
first,
one.
though.
Yeah,
I'm
go
excited.
for it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, where do I start with this topic? So, okay, when you went back to, you sleep in you have to have air conditioning out there. If you
Sure.
don't,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want to live.
okay, I will say that that's one of the reasons I left as well. Is after one of the hurricanes passed through.
Yeah.
That's when I, realized I don't want to be here. I'd rather deal with an earthquake, a monsoon, something. I don't care. But basically the same thing. But yeah, when you get a hurricane that blows through on the coast right there, knocks the power out for a few days, and it's middle of summer, and
Ugh.
you don't have any power. You're running a generator, and it's just can't sleep because of the generator will randomly make loud noises and wake you up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're out there sitting at about 100 degrees, 105 degrees, and inside the house it's even worse.
Yeah. Right.
So no power, 2 or 3 days on end, you're just sitting there going, you know what, this is enough to get me out of here. So
Yeah.
So yeah, the last hurricane though, I was like, I know what, I'm out of here.
When was that?
I want to say about 2008. I want to say. It was long after Katrina, because Katrina was another big one. Everything changed after Katrina down, in that area where I grew up. And it
Really?
was, you
Yeah.
had so many people move from New
Yeah,
Orleans
so many people moved there.
into Houston, and then another hurricane came along and moved people from Houston to San Antonio, and then after that, people just started scattering all around the area. So,
Wow.
yeah, New Orleans. I lived in New Orleans for a good year or so, and that was another city where it was just, it's surrounded by music as well.
Yeah.
You go to the right places, there's people playing music 24/7.
Yep.
Especially
Yeah.
near Bourbon Street and the French Quarter and all that.
Yeah.
It's
Which we don't have
an
here.
amazing spot.
No, dude, that's the.
Los Angeles, you're just a big fucking Apple store, and you suck.
Oh my God, dude! I was okay.
You so fake.
Not to brag, just because from coming back from my trip, but it literally is
Go
that.
ahead,
Like
brag on.
I landed in the airport and there were 2 fucking bands playing from when I one right just past the gates, and
Yep.
it was an acoustic group. And it was one guy on acoustic, one guy on percussion, and they were singing. Another band I didn't hear, but they were tearing down once I got past the gates and more into the beginning of the terminal. It's like a little trio that was playing.
Yep.
Nice.
And then when I was leaving, I walked past. They had a Tootsie's Lounge, because that's one of the famous places on Broadway. They had a Tootsie's in the airport and a guy playing an acoustic and singing songs. And I'm like, you can get a fucking gig anywhere. Not saying that gigs just fall out of the sky, but there's 3 fucking people, three slots open in this airport for gigs alone. And then it's it's probably not the greatest gig playing at the airport gate, but it's a job.
They're doing what they love too.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I chatted up the cats when I went to Southpaw last year, right before a pandemic hit.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I went in January with my dad. And that was the funny thing. In the airport in Texas, there was a jazz band playing at 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I talked to these cats, and they're like, yeah, no, we each get $400 for the day. And I'm like, well, that's not fucking bad.
No.
$400 a day. They only play 3 hours, and then they'd be gone.
Oh, well, that's not a day. That's 3 hours. I'm thinking, if they got to get there at
Well,
fucking...
3 sets is 3 sets, Jesse.
Well, 3 sets is 3 sets, but
I'm
sure.
just like,
Oh man.
I'm just saying.
I mean, when it's 3 sets the way I perform them, it really
It's
it might
a
as well
day.
be
It's a
8 hours.
full day.
Damn it. Yeah.
I'm an idiot. All right.
Yeah.
Party
But
bands.
seriously, I want to talk about my weather fetish.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to cut you off there.
Like, go ahead, asshole.
Go ahead.
So I not only have Palmdale's weather on my phone, but when you go to search on the weather app on the phones, right, like Android or iOS, it'll show you other cities as you're trying to search. And it's like Palmdale, Australia. Well, blimey, let's check that out. Not that I say that
And
there.
it tells you the time as well, right?
Yeah, so
yeah.
now I'm looking at like Palmdale, New South Wales all the time. And it's great because it's like seasonally opposite because they're in the other hemisphere. So I'm like, oh, 106 today here. Oh, the high is 54 there. And it's raining.
Yeah,
How neat.
And it's raining.
I like looking at that and being like, haha, Palmdale.
I was going to say, I don't have exotic places on here. It's just East Coast, West Coast, San Diego, Nashville, and Costa Mesa. Those
You
are
got that
my
iPhone 3 still, or 5, whatever.
It's an 8, sir. Thank you very much.
This is newer than
Oh,
mine.
because you did the 3
Yeah.
plus 5.
I was going to say, you rocking one of the old ones, too?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I that's the thing. It's like I've always been of the mind, if it ain't broke, don't throw it away, kind of, sort of. And if it's, same with the phone. It's just like it hasn't broken in half yet, so I'm
Yeah.
just gonna hold on to it. You know?
Yeah, fair enough.
I've
Only
debated
go.
getting rid of it. I'm actually trying to get rid of my phone right now and just do emails and house landline.
That's like the
So-
really cool. If you
man.
want to be like the fucking like the LA guy, bro, that's the thing to do is like be like a creative professional, like working and
Go
doing
back to the
networking,
flip.
but you don't have a phone at all. Like you doing the Christopher Nolan, bro. Everybody be like, look at him.
Yeah.
I feel you would have to if you want to pursue music as much as at least I want to pursue it, because I can't be bothered when I come, especially when it's time to come up with, I've never been a scheduler either, because that's, people will tell you, you got to schedule time in the studio, you got to schedule time to. I suck at it. I couldn't even get here on time. Hell, but
You were really damn close.
It's okay.
thank you.
And for us, that's
So-
like
I wasn't going to put you on blast. That's okay.
Beat you to it.
not
sir.
yet. Yeah, exactly.
But when it comes time to being creative, it's just that whole thing of, it comes in random spurts here and there. I just
got
kind
you.
of just want to,
Yeah.
it'll be 2 a.m. I'll pick up the guitar, go to the garage and write an idea out. And then, and then when I'm trying to schedule work on top of that, it's confusing. It's, you don't, know when you're going to be able to be as creative as you are. So
Yeah.
you definitely need to have that, place to go, if anything, or that time to, get your ideas down. But
Definitely.
that's
I
been the
agree
hardest
with
part.
that.
That's been
I
the
really
hardest part,
identify
though,
with
is
that.
it is scheduling time, and even just, sometimes you just don't even feel like it. I envy musicians who can go out every single night on a stage, play the same songs, and just still have that desire to keep doing it.
Yeah.
I know
don't,
eventually
because-
it's going to get to a point where I'm going to have to do that and start playing these shows, and but I think playing live, if you got the crowd and you can move the crowd enough, then it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of the bands I grew up listening to around town, I saw the way they moved the crowd. I'm like, how are you not as big as I project you to be? And it's the business has a lot to do with it as well. It's a hard business to get tapped into and succeed in, because you got to be able to. I would say a majority from what I saw was the bands that I liked, who were local, who became something that they can do music the rest of their life. They opened up for some of these bigger bands and did shows, and they would get picked up to do tours even.
Yep.
And back what we were talking about with the grueling van tours and all
Yes.
that lovely stuff is Beyond the Lighted Stage, the documentary by Rush.
Yeah,
They were
love that
talking about
movie.
how they would jump from circuit to circuit. And that's really how you made a name for yourself. You would jump on these, shows and these tours and whatnot, and you would bust your ass. And that was the other thing too, is just like if you want to be a successful performer, especially, you have to bust your ass and do these shows.
Yeah, there's
You know?
one of the Tobias from Softkill, one of the past guests we had. I was talking with him on the phone not too long ago, and I was trying to pick his brain about questions, business stuff, because their band's doing really well right now. And he was saying one of the things he goes by is that he looks at it like a regular job. So you have to put in the shifts every day. It doesn't mean you have to start at a certain time and end at a certain time, but you have to treat it like, okay, I'm going to sit down and work on this, whether that's finishing a song. It's going to be sending emails and like booking stuff, handling social media stuff. It's like you can schedule your own day and set your own hours, but you still have to like, I'm putting in a shift at the factory today, you know, the band factory.
Yep.
And it's like you say, man, and that applies to the road too. It's like when you hit the road and you're doing this, it's like you can have fun while you're doing it. And I have a lot of fun while I'm doing it, but you still have to go at it with that mindset. You can't be like, oh, this is a party all the time. Like, this is great. I'm on vacation. It's like, no, it's like, it's a really fun job, but it's a job at the same time, you know? And you can get in trouble that way too, or get like really burnt out if you go into it with, oh man, this is great and this is all fun all the time. And then you just try to hold that expectation to it instead of just going out there and treating it for what it is, you know?
It can be grueling. I mean, there were times where I wanted to just drop everything and go back home because it was just, you know, like you said, you get tired of eating the same pizza over and over, and you know, but
and the one guy that can't stop picking his nose and flicking it in the back of the van.
You wouldn't believe some of the characters, but and the egos and all that.
Oh yeah,
just you know, eventually. That's if you could survive that, you could survive anything. If you could survive being on tour for a month with 7 other people, you know, in one space as well. It's just you learn who you are and what you'll put up with really quickly. But it is a business. You have to go into it with you know that mentality of you know, all right, we got work to do. We have you know songs to play, and I admire bands who actually can write music on the road though as well. I think that's what a lot of it has to do is that's a lot of stuff like that drove me to love some of the bands I love was their work ethic, because you know they just didn't stop writing songs even when they were out touring. They were still writing new music. One of the bands
in order to do that like in a healthful way, you gotta have the support and the resources there. That's tough to procure.
They would demo the albums. I thought that was great. And I was just like, you know, your guys are ready. It's a machine. Some of these people didn't stop, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, but
Sex machine.
They're still around.
Like the ones you buy.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Slam.
Yeah. Welcome back, Slam.
Fair enough.
Welcome back.
Caught me off guard. I'll get you back.
All right. You do that.
Yeah, no, I envy that too, and I know I have a bunch of friends that are the same way. It's like it seemingly don't stop, and it's just like, wow, I don't know. In some respects, it's like, wow.
Sounds like a clinical disorder.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, somebody harboring a couple myself.
Well, I was going to say, you're my attorney, so if you want to advise me on such things.
I knew it.
Well,
I knew there was a reason you brought him here today.
On this matter, I gotta. Yes, we're gonna have to parse our words very carefully for the next segment.
This thing makes so much sense now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, it's you know,
I'm the judge,
when he gets too crazy,
jury,
I just adjourn the shit.
I'm the executioner.
Whoa.
Yeah, it keeps me in check.
That's that Texas justice right there.
Yes,
So you bring a Texan in here, and then we got Texas justice.
Yeah, exactly.
I have not seen eye to eye with the law many times. What's funny though is
you know what though?
In Texas, but in Texas though, some of the cops out there are some of your closest compare. There was this one guy who would, one cop. He wasn't even security for the shows. He would just show up and I guess pretend to be security for the show. He'd show up kind of still in uniform and, you know, he would get to hang out around, you know, the areas he wanted to as well. I was like, that's cool. But, you know, I was just doing my gig. And, you know, sometimes he would bring the kid up to the show as well, his kid. And we became very good friends. He was, I don't know if he's still doing it, but, or if he's still a police officer, but, yeah, he would pull me over and be like, hey, man, think you can get me one of the guitar picks by any chance? And I'd be like, I knew there was a reason you and I, you talk, but yeah, I would hook him up with guitar picks and stuff like that.
Yeah, there you go.
And he's just like, this is like, you know, any other human being, you know, getting good with somebody and you just, you know, learn. But the laws out there are a little, wasn't my taste as well, you know. They're very strict out there, and, you know, there's like that movie, The Longest Yard, where the guy, what is the guy's name? The warden. He's like, there's 2 things we take very serious here in Texas: it's prison and football. And that was no joke. They do take those 2 things very seriously out there.
Oh yeah.
Cowboys fans and all that, you know, they're hardcore, and you know, like there's a lot of jails out there and prisons as well. And you know, I'd like to think one day that'll all change, and you know.
On that note, Put air conditioners in those prisons. Stop killing prisoners.
Oh, jeez.
Just saying.
Is that a real thing?
That's a real thing.
Oh,
There
wow.
are some places.
Citizens, write those letters. Get in there, citizens. God
Wow.
bless
There
you.
are some places I was told, and it was funny because I had a friend of mine get arrested, and she got out like 2 days later, and I was like, "What was it like?" She was like, "Oh, it was fine. They gave us Sonic, the drive-through food, and it wasn't bad at all."
Whoa. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's against the fucking Geneva Convention, my friend. Sonic is poison.
Yeah.
I like
You
their
fuck with
hot-
Sonic? He's just
I'm
like, did you see
sorry.
that turn? Yeah, okay, so now we
Okay.
understand
He's
that Cody
like,
fucks with
yeah.
Sonic. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Not very much, but
No,
I will
come
say,
on.
but it's like Coney
like the
Island.
tater tots.
Every now and then you'll like, where can I get a hot dog? It's
Where
it's
can you
like
get a hot
okay, so
dog?
it's like Wiener Schnitzel basically. If I had to compare, but it's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Wiener Schnitzel. It's like
Yeah,
I
I
would say
think that's
Sonic
fair.
is. You can get a
There's a slam on the whole
slushy drink, and you can get a freaking hot dog, and it's it's a good
man,
$5.
What'd
but
you
it's-
think?
About Sonic?
It's a
About either.
it's about $5 you'll regret, but still.
That's true. It's only 5.
I like, if I'm going to go to Sonic, I'm probably just going to get a beverage or a milkshake, and that's it.
Yes.
They
We
have
have
really
good
cool
milkshakes.
colored
Oh,
drinks.
yeah.
I'm into that.
I fuck with the
Cherry limeades.
Yeah,
that thing is
I love
good.
the cherry limeade.
Those are so
I fuck with
I
the
love
tots.
little ice.
Yeah.
I fuck with the tots, but I don't get like the entrees. I'll
He
get
means
like
tater tots.
Sorry. Oh, man.
Don't cancel the citizens. I need him.
this. I'm glad
Remember how good he asked
We can edit
questions.
this out, right, man?
That's a cut point. Here's
like,
here-
no.
There
I was
you
gonna
go.
say I'm glad we're not at the point where it's like some fucking comedy podcast where they just take the 5 seconds of that. Like we don't have a memer fan
This
base
is comedy
yet.
music at its
Yeah,
finest.
if we had a memer fan base, I'd be fucked right now.
You know what I
It'd be-
liked about, because we did a gig. Were you on this gig? We were doing the
you on that
Republican candidate convention over at the Reagan Library.
Definitely was not.
Wow.
We
Let's
did
talk
an
about
event there through a company we work for, and
Yes.
we ended up. It was about a week's worth of work. It was set up and then a whole day of teardown. But yeah, there was about 20 or 30 of us out there. So we set everything up, and I'm not sure where I was going with this, but out there in Simi Valley, as I learned that there was a Dairy Queen.
Sliding
And
Valley.
Oh.
not many people who were in the LA area, they weren't really familiar with Dairy Queen.
No,
I'm
you
like,
got to go to the outskirts. To get
yeah,
that.
so I was like, okay, where I'm from, there's a lot of these freaking places. So you've got to. I'm like, I took about 3 people out to the Dairy Queen and gave them
You gave him the dissertation.
Dairy
the-
Queen's solid.
the blizzards. The blizzards are like you can get food there, but holy snap, you go.
That's a
get
waste
you
of time. Yeah, it's just like
yeah.
Foster's Freeze. You could get food there, but why waste your time?
Oh, well, I mean,
get a sundae.
have you eaten the burgers one in Roseman?
Are they good?
Oh yeah.
I ain't got time for that. I just go in there to get turn my blood sugar to dirt. Just
turn your blood sugar to dirt.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
man.
if we're on the subject of food and places
We
we
are
like
now.
or dislike, I've had it 3 times. No disrespect to you and your homeland, but I don't fuck with Whataburger. I can't get
the word
into
that comes
it.
to mind is gummy, but also
It's just-
dry.
it was just to
I
me.
bite
It's like
into a
this is
burger.
just like Jack in the Box, except not
yeah,
as
it's like Jack in the Box.
yeah, but not as good. Like, sorry. I mean,
We might have to have a debate about
He's
this.
picking up the gavel, citizens.
I mean,
I'm calling it now. I'm
Okay,
sorry, dude.
okay.
All right.
all right.
We've seen
fair
it
enough.
before, and we've
Fair
seen
enough.
it again.
All right,
Texans
so in-
will bleed blood for their Whataburger.
will.
They will. And God
Honestly.
bless them. We
Max,
respect it.
Max has to throw up some like Fox News-esque graphics, like Whataburger, slam, and then like explosions and shit.
It's something. It's like anything else. In the area you grow up in, you know where to go to get the food you like
Yeah,
at
fair enough.
all hours of the day.
Fair
Like,
enough.
That's the
Absolutely.
thing.
No.
So that was my go-to. Was I'm awake at 3 or 4 in the morning, like every night, even still to this day. So
Yeah.
Oh, you're an insomniac?
my
man?
go-to, no, I sleep a lot during the day because
Oh,
yeah, I just
musician, Bat Boy.
exactly yeah, you know.
Been there.
So learning the food in the area, especially
Yeah.
when you're on tour as well, they have places you can compare
Yeah.
things to. So out here, I learned Carl's Jr. was the equivalent to the
Hardee's.
Whataburger. Whataburger was
Oh.
the equivalent to Crystal Burger. Somebody compared it to Crystal. I'm like, I've never had that before.
Where's
So when
that?
I went to Alabama,
Crystal Burger does like sliders, right?
yes,
Yeah.
Alabama,
They're
they're
like a
like,
Southern
oh, you
White
like
Castle here.
mustard and burger? Yeah, okay, yeah, go here. And so traveling, that was the other thing too, is you learn how to survive when you're out on the road, and you learn what to eat as well. And you
Yeah.
know, depending on your per diem, your budget, whatever
Yeah.
you got, it's
Don't eat meat
know.
every day, let me tell you.
It's tough to do.
You're gonna have hard shits.
Yeah, hard shit.
Hard shits out
Yeah.
there.
Too much steak and shake is never a good idea.
Too much steak and shake is
And the
never a
venue
good idea.
bathrooms sometimes aren't as dependable as you think.
Yeah.
No.
So-
and imagine, and then this time 6 or 7 humans, and everybody's trying to blast it out of the same toilet. No way.
Okay, so I've given you
way.
my hometown like
okay.
Oh, but now you get to openly slam. Like, what's your take on In-N-Out, for example?
I just
Overrated,
wish
perhaps?
No, okay. So
your
probably
dirty
the
mouth.
same way Jesse feels about Whataburger is the same way I feel about In-N-Out. Like there was all this talk about what but I don't see the comparison. I really don't. There is no comparison because they're two completely different places.
Yeah, one is good
I
and
would
one is
compare
not.
them.
Man, no, but this hammer is going to become a weapon, Jesse.
I was trying to be nice.
Yeah,
I was trying to be nice.
Yeah.
No,
Gloves
it's,
comes
But
off.
what I mean by no comparison is just like the menu is just completely different.
Oh, of course.
If I was going to compare Whataburger to any place out here, it would either be Carl's Jr.'s or Fat Burger. Because
Fair.
No, but I mean, it's
You
like,
know.
as far as it's like our regional chain where it's like we have to go there to experience Whataburger and be let down by it. Like, when you're here, you go to In-N-Out and everybody's like, this is so good. And you're like, this is whatever. I'm from
I went
Texas.
to In-N-Out today.
Okay.
No joke.
Yeah.
I got the protein style cheeseburgers.
There you
And I
go.
didn't know this, but they give patties to like separate patties for my I brought the dog with me, and the girl taking my order, she's like, "Would you like a patty for your dog?" I'm like, "Y'all do that?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like,
Everybody gets heart disease here.
"Yeah, exactly." Well, that's the thing is like I ate so much Whataburger growing up and it was just because like I said, you can get breakfast and some of the breakfast items they have there are cruel. The honey butter chicken biscuit was one of them.
Okay.
So if you go there, you
Ooh.
got to get the right thing because there are people that have gone there and be like, I didn't see the big deal. I'm like, okay, what did you get? He's like, okay, that was completely opposite of what you should have got.
Well, yeah,
It's a blink and you miss it
Yeah,
scenario.
I had
Okay.
it 3 times. Once was in Dallas at like 2 or 3 in the morning, or like 3 or 4, somewhere super late.
Do you
And
remember
then-
what you got though? Is my question.
Just the main, like the Whataburger.
Okay,
like this
so-
is the signature. This
yeah,
is
there's
what
nothing
we
special
make.
about the actual Whataburger. It's when you start getting into the triple meat, triple cheese, and you start getting into the like, okay, I'm not fucking around.
But I don't like the single patty, so why would I stack 2 more of them in there?
Because you feel like an animal at that point. You're just like, I'm eating like half a cow that was probably raised down the street. You know,
Your ego is going to
okay.
kick in, that's all.
Is
that probably might be what it is actually.
yeah,
maybe
I was
it's an
gonna
ego
say-
thing. So what? Okay, on all your U.S. travels, what would you say? Like, finally make you stop and go. I see the big deal with this fast food chain or this place.
Okay, I
was
have a
mine.
couple of those. One is Waffle House.
Thank you. Somebody finally said
and
Waffle
not
House.
and not the one in Arizona
This
near Phoenix. You
discussion
know
is
who you
no
are.
longer
we can
a
adjourn
debate,
this,
because
finally.
I now understand you, Jesse.
I bid
Wait,
you good Waffle
Okay,
House.
it's closed now because you redeemed yourself entirely when you
Yeah.
said Waffle
Finally,
House.
somebody said Waffle
the
House.
Waffle House, which I did
Yeah.
not have in Nashville because for some reason I was like, this is when I'm supposed to be on the
They're
road.
out there.
I
Yeah,
know,
they
I
are.
just- but I wanted to go back when I was actually like traveling on the road somewhere, to actually feel like, like the good old days, because I'm a goober and sentimental like that, you know me.
24-hour diner, by
Happy
the way.
Father's Day, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. No kids, but definitely.
You're definitely someone's dad.
For sure. But yeah, no, I love the Waffle House. I love that it's open all hours of the day. I love the crazy, colorful people that are either working there or come in there.
It's like a pirate ship. That's a restaurant.
I like
love
the
it.
first time I went to a proper Waffle House was outside of Denver. It was like in Aurora, and there was a guy who was gacked
Aurora.
out of his mind who was put like $50 in the jukebox, and he kept going in
Was
and
he
out.
the chef?
Oh, no, he wasn't. But he was
He
going.
used to be.
He was going in and out of the bathroom, and he was just putting more money in the jukebox. And at one point, I thought he just vanished and he left. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put some songs on here. So I start picking songs, and he comes back and he's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, sorry, I thought you left. And he goes, oh, no problem. It's like, go ahead, pick some songs. And he just put more money in there, and he shook my hand with both of his hands, like he was greeting a mayor or something, or like an official.
Greeting a mayor.
Yeah,
I like that.
look, yeah. He
Let's
was like,
demonstrate.
oh yeah, man. I was like, put some more songs on there. It was weird. But
How ceremonial.
I stayed in one when I was driving to Nashville for work. We had a big truck
Parking
full
lot.
of. Oh, I was gonna say we stayed in where was it? It was a place. it was in Mississippi, right over the Tennessee border, outside of Memphis, because that was like a cheaper hotel, and it was like right next to Tennessee. And so on the way there, we stayed there for the night. There was a Waffle House within walking distance of the hotel, and we were like, oh, fuck yeah, this is a sign.
Might have been Jackson.
Jackson
Jackson or Hattiesburg.
It was like South Haven or something like right over the border.
You're getting the sticks out there, man. It's trippy.
Yeah. But so we were there, and then we walked over to the Waffle House, and there was this like basically kitchen staff of like 2 people, and then a waitress, you know, who just would bring you the food, cashier. And they were shit talking on like the morning crew, and then like on this one girl who apparently like didn't do anything and like just was on her phone the whole time. And it was like I've been working at the Waffle House 10 years. It's like, bitch, if you're working a full breakfast shift and it's like, you know, and you only walk away with, you know, and you sold X amount of dollars in food but only made this much in tips, he goes, you fucking suck. I'm sorry. And they're just like, and me and my buddy who are, you know, crew guy who's with me, we're eating at this place at midnight, and at this point we're laughing out loud, and they don't give a shit. They're just venting.
Because they're right in front of you.
And I just told them, like, thanks for giving us dinner and a show. I'm like, this was fucking incredible. And we walked away. They're like, oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah. And we went in the next morning, and then there was and we were like, and we found the lady that they were talking about, and she was on her phone, was taking forever to like bring people their food. It was a full of people, like breakfast sort of rush hour. And we were like, holy shit, she doesn't do anything. They're right.
So it's because I mean, not only that, if you sit at the bar, especially, they're right in front of you cooking.
Yeah, that's what we were. Yeah, it was awesome.
But I do miss the chocolate chip waffles.
Yeah,
I would stop at a waffle. I mean, it was funny because a mutual friend of ours, Osvaldo.
Oh yeah, another coworker.
Zarate went on a tour, and when he came back, I asked him like, so did you try the places I recommend? He's like, yeah, that Whataburger was pretty bomb, man, but I gotta go with the Waffle House, buddy. Like
Waffle
that was
House.
like I was just like, yep. A lot of people, that's their go-to.
4 things I love on the road. One is regional for you, and it's Waffle House, Cracker Barrel. You can also get a pretty good meal there.
Down the street from my.
I was gonna say, all right. Hey.
Yeah, rebranding is imminent.
Chicken fried chicken. Man.
I mean, I love the redundancy of a chicken fried chicken.
Yeah, I do too. Love's Truck Stops. Love's is just like, you know, if you need a clean shower. I haven't used one yet, but if you need a clean shower, they're there. The bathrooms are always really clean, generally speaking. Yep. They always got weird shit to look at in the store, and it's just like, I love seeing the big heart on the highway. The gas prices are always at least a couple cents lower, sometimes more.
They're not all clean.
And then last but not least, Buc-ee's.
Thank you. I was hoping you would say that.
Dude, Buc-ee's.
Apparently this is a fist bump scenario.
Yeah, Buc-ee's.
Oh,
Buc-ee's.
Yeah. My bad. Yeah, dude. So that was that Buc-ee's is like.
We got the Buc-ee's bump.
It's a religion down there, honestly. Max is. Sorry, Max.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say, but yeah,
he's always that intense. Though.
Yeah, no, he's just he always gives the reminder on time just to let us know where we're at. But yeah, I love Buc-ee's, man. The first time I had heard about Buc-ee's getting bragged about by like road buddies, and it's like, oh, it's like you'll love it. Just trust me.
Spend money there though.
Well, yeah, no, it's
what is it, a strip club?
If you like pecans.
If you like beavers.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you like beavers.
Their mascot is a beaver.
Like beavers?
Yeah, their mascot is a beaver.
Big old buck-toothed beaver.
Yeah, sort of Caddyshack-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get anything there though, dude. You can get homemade fudge. You can get cheese tray, non-moldy.
Yeah, non-moldy cheese tray.
Fudge and cheese.
So much stuff you can get there.
Oh yeah, it's half.
And you can create your own drinks.
Yeah, dude, it's like
you mix your own drinks at the bar. Or?
Ain't no bar. That'd be the next step.
Yeah.
Don't they sell alcohol?
I don't think so. But they literally like. There'll be like a line for the bathroom, and you go in there and it's immaculate, and there's literally, you can watch somebody going in there every 5 minutes going and cleaning the bathrooms. It's like, it's insane. I've never seen like a public restroom that well attended before. It literally looked like, you know, you're getting ready for Thanksgiving dinner or something, and it's like, I need to make sure the bathroom's spotless for relatives. And it's like, yeah, but this is a gas station. But it's more than a gas station. It's a state of mind, dude.
Oh, wow.
Well, the big thing
I'm hoping for the Buc-ee sponsorship on this podcast.
Yeah, you're pulling hard, man.
I will team up with
standing
you.
down.
You wouldn't believe. I'll wear their merchandise on stage. I don't care.
I do. I was gonna say that became my gig shirt. I had like I had one of those baseball, the tan one I wear at the gigs and stuff. It was a Buc-ee's, like looked like a football jersey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I seen that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was. I give credit where credit's due.
That's them.
Yeah, that's
nice.
them. That's Buc-ee's.
Well, the big thing about Buc-ee's is you get, especially in Texas, because you're on the highway for, you know this, you get on the 10, you're on that freeway for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
And Buc-ee's has this thing to where they warn you 100 miles in advance
Yeah.
that there is a Buc-ee's up ahead.
It's super smart.
And as the closer you get, there's more billboards for them. And you're
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, okay, I guess I have to check this place out.
They're planting the seed.
Yeah. And like I said, it's funny because the Loves, there's a Loves across the street from every Buc-ee's as well.
Yeah.
And it's just like people, they go for their gas, but they go to Buc-ee's for all the other stuff.
Yeah, Buc-ee's for the food, the fun, and the family entertainment.
Oh my God.
So if I could do a Buc-ee's tour one day,
choking
I'm
on
gonna
vomit.
do it.
I'm
I will
gonna
do it.
aspirate
Hey, you were
vomit.
talking about the airport, people playing in the air. I will play in a Buc-ee's with this guitar in the parking lot. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be the best, is if you did a tour where it's like you're playing Buc-ee's during the day and then you've got a gig scheduled at
Say
a
it
club
now.
at
Hey,
night.
you know what? I've seen, they've got some money.
Yeah.
They can afford some entertainment. What's up, Buc-ee's?
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
Buc-ee's.
They are a thriving business because there's about 6 of them in the area now where I grew up. And there was only maybe 1 or 2. But they're everywhere now.
Oh, yeah, they're expanding.
They're up in Dallas now, too, apparently.
They're expanding. Yeah, well, they've got a sign on the way out the door that's like, we pay our employees way above minimum wage. And they show you, like, what a
Humble
cashier...
brag.
Well, no, and, like, way above. Like, this
They
is...
show you the dollars per hour?
Yeah, and then, like, that they get vacation time, and, like, they've got some, like, if you work enough hours, you qualify for benefits. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's
There's
like,
a beef jerky counter at the place as well. There, you walk in and there's an entire counter of beef jerky, and they have somebody working behind the counter at for the beef. It's crazy. I used to stop there and get beef jerky, but yeah.
Yeah.
So you can find every animal too: deer, bison.
I don't know what you guys
everything on
consumed
demand.
before we started this, but it kicked in just now on
I'm
Buc-ee's.
full of nostalgia thinking about this place.
Yeah, for you, nostalgia is
So I'm
is
glad
a
you
hell
were
of a
able to
drug.
give me your reference. Like I said, the case was closed as soon as you said, as soon as you said Waffle House, I was like, okay.
Yeah,
I understand.
Redeem myself. Yeah, fair enough.
That was all it was. But when it comes to traveling, yeah, I would look forward to that if I was on the road. And, going to all these different places. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to hear Cody play a song because he brought his guitar out here not just to be a nice display on camera, but he's going to play a song for us. I don't want to leave you with any questions.
Damn, fingers.
Damn. Get that finger out of here. You know where that
sword
finger's
sound
been.
on that?
Yeah. Do you have any questions for Cody before we get into the musical entertainment?
You covered all the food stuff I could think of.
He covered all the obscure regional places. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, we got into like things I don't even know about. Crystal Burger, I didn't even know that existed.
Burger.
It's the Redneck's White Castle, if you can imagine that.
Well,
Which they have a sign out front that says that.
Yeah, that's the slogan.
They're proud.
Yeah,
We're not quite white.
yeah,
We're not quite White Castle.
I love it.
yeah.
That sounds catchy.
Yeah.
Not quite White Castle.
Well, cool.
But yeah, no, I just want the man to play. Play me tune, man.
Yeah.
Would you please?
No problem.
Yeah. What is this song called before we get into it?
I'm gonna take a small sabbatical here and go over the chord structures once again because it's been a minute since I've actually gone into the studio and mapped all this out. I've yet to play anything live. This is still a brand new project. The EP will be released hopefully before August. I kind of want to do something, a summer release, but
Okay.
yeah, and then start working on the next one. But yeah, the songs are they're there. They're just they're still in the process of being mixed, music videos and all that. But
Nice.
nothing yet to be performed. Like I said, I performed in front of my aunt and uncle and a couple family members at a gathering we had out in Texas. But nothing too spectacular. It was just me with the acoustic and winging it, kind of, sort of.
All right. Well.
So I'm definitely gonna wing it for you. So.
All right. Well, if you performed it for your aunt and uncle before, just think of us as like second cousins twice removed. If that makes you any less nervous. So.
Oh man,
Yeah.
if you were in
And
my
Jesse,
family,
Uncle Dave.
freaking. Yeah, you wouldn't have. Well, I don't know. You might have lasted. You might have lasted in my family, but yeah, they look at me and they go, "What happened?"
Yeah.
And,
well, you ended up on the Sonic City Council podcast.
And
That's
I'm
what
happy
happened.
to be here.
I know.
Honestly, I'm glad to be out in Palmdale. It's,
Well, thank you,
man.
man.
It's a cool spot. Like I said, like it's a dope. Like, you could just, the environment is just was worth being in. You know.
Thank you, man. We appreciate that.
Yes,
so,
sir.
You know, they say when you move to Palmdale, when you end up here, you get resigned to it.
yeah, pretty much.
That's
yeah.
the city slogan.
Yeah,
I love you, Palmdale.
Yeah, that's the city slogan.
Yeah. You don't feel good about that.
Resigned
I love
residents.
how much that's in your voice.
Resigned
it's-
residents welcome. Yeah.
It's a slogan or a curse, however
Yeah.
you look at it. So, without further ado, Cody.
Thank you, sir. Hi, I'm Cody from Scarzdale. This song's called Mexico. 1, 2, 3. Is there something on your mind, or are you waiting for the snow? I'm looking at you now, and yeah, I'm wondering what you know. Tell me though. Oh, where'd you go? Are you searching for me now, or is it just a guessing game? It's funny how I think of you, yet no one knows your name. Tell me though. Oh, where'd you go? But she's the queen of everything. But you don't need a thing. She's the match and she's the fire to a lake of gasoline. Another drug you have to take, a nightmare and a dream. No, no, you just won't know which way to run. But she's waiting for her light to come. She'll question everything. Listens to the violins, and then I hear her scream, I'm all alone. Oh no, 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 where'd you go? She's the queen of everything. But you don't need a thing. Where'd you go? Mexico. And I'm not ever gonna make you change your mind. Just keep it to yourself, don't let me know. You're leaving me for someone else to find. Mexico, Mexico, where'd you go? She's the queen of everything. Oh no, she don't need a thing. Oh, where'd you go? Mexico.
So should we?
Oh wow!
I had a stroke. I had a mini stroke.
Do you smell toast?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not.
Are you seeing your life before your eyes?
Yeah, I am. I'm going through all the past episodes we've done so far.
Oh, okay.
Not too bad.
Hashtag no regrets, I hope.
Yeah, not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah. Speaking of past episodes, this episode is in the very recent past, and that we just did it.
I'm sorry. I might have had a stroke. Are we outroing right now?
Yeah, we're outroing.
I had
right
a small
now.
stroke, everybody. First the blood loss 2 weeks ago, now this. I'm unwell.
Yeah. Are you good with keeping the small stroke in? You don't care about letting that out to the people and the stuff and the viewership?
I mean, everybody's got air bubbles in their vessel. It's just a question of when they go. So,
Yeah,
you
so
know.
that's fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not talking out of church to let people know.
Yeah, you're not telling
I'm
stories
unwell.
out of school.
Yeah.
Tall tales out of school.
Yeah.
I'm excited we're doing this musical guest thing, man. It's
as a feature going forward.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's something I've always I say always like I was a child with a podcast with a dream, but it was since we started doing this podcast.
You were 5 years old. You sat at home
I've always
in your room,
wanted a musical guest.
polishing that microphone.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was sat on your desk.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm excited. We're getting to the point where we can actually bring people in here and have musical guests, and also too like that Cody made the trek out here, and yeah, just it's
Makes you feel powerful to know you have friends that you can get to drive from LA.
yeah. I have a.
If you live in a flyover state, you don't know what it means to have somebody drive from LA 70 miles north to the middle of nowhere. It means that they think something of you. Basically means they want to bone you.
I mean, I don't want to have a conversation about my great and powerful friends because I've been slammed for that before with the casualness of how I speak about such things. So
Only because you work with people like me and Max. We'll slam you for that.
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah, you know, your earnestness is just such a lovely, lush target.
Yeah. Sometimes I go to camp. Sometimes I get in other adventures.
Sometimes I rhyme slow. Sometimes I rhyme quick.
Because there's a guy named Ernest, and he went on adventures.
No, I don't
Know what I
want
mean?
that. You don't.
Know what I mean,
No,
man?
you don't. No, you don't.
Yes.
No, you don't.
I you do know what I mean.
I
man.
did before you started explaining.
So before I go off on a Jim Varney tribute session here, I want to thank you.
He never died.
Is this like a new weird conspiracy theory? Like Stevie Wonder isn't actually blind?
Yeah,
My favorite.
I don't
on the
believe
internet?
that one. That one's
That's hogwash.
some white bigots made that up. That's some baloney.
Well, it still is my favorite for the absurdity and that there's compilations.
And it's
trying to
also
prove it.
such a false pretense. You throw something at him and he'll catch it.
He-
It's like
he
hears things. People.
I was gonna say he caught a microphone that was falling over and people are treating it like it's Roswell crash site. Or
Yeah,
something.
it's not like he's flying a goddamn F-18 out
Yeah.
there, people.
It's
I
like
don't
this
know.
is the microphone stand that was on the grassy knoll.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's my favorite.
Yeah.
Out of all of them, it beats Flat Earth. It beats all of the crazy, absurd ones out there. It's like Stevie Wonder isn't blind is my favorite.
Yeah, no, most of the people who died didn't really die. They were just
Yeah.
getting away from the hassle of it all.
Yeah. Well, hey, Stevie, if you want to refute these claims, I can't think of a better platform than the Sonic City Council podcast. So you have an open seat on our couch anytime you'd like to come down to the studio and, visit what we got going on down here.
I just invited the devil.
I mean, if you say it, it will happen. So
that's the premise of The Conjuring, man.
yeah, this is,
Oh shit.
it's like Beetlejuice. If you say it 3 times, it'll happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, thank you once again, citizens.
So
So-
no, I just wanted to clap hands like
Yeah.
that.
So, thank you for tuning in once again to our absurdity and my ramblings and my favorite regional fast food chains or whatever we choose to get into per episode, or Davey's slams, any of his wonderful slams that he'll throw my direction. We're happy you're here and you enjoy these things.
You know, I gotta say a couple things. I'm obnoxious. We both have long hair. This is a hat. I do smell toast. The blood loss was real. And gavels are heavy. And we appreciate all the time you spend here.
Yeah. Well, and I've got to get Davey to some medical attention apparently, so we shall see you next
No
week.
doctors. No cops. We keep this in the family.
Sonic City Council was created by Jesse Davidson and Davey Sipes and engineered by Max Taylor at Desert Sound Studio in Palmdale, California. Thank you to Disaster Cabinet for the outro music. Intro music written by Max Taylor. Sonic City Council is produced in association with Amped Music Academy and the Showcase Venue. For more information, visit theshowcasevenue.com.